Honored Ambassador, good morning.
Good morning to you as well, and thank you for having this short interview with me.
What do you like best about Greece?
I think that the most amazing thing that I find here in Greece are the people. Very kind, very nice, very warm, loving people, embracing. They like to give you everything all the time. This is something that is very unique to the Greek people, and I think this makes our life and our service here, or our tenureship here, a very special one.
Thank you.
So these are the people. Then you have the smells and the beauty of this country, which are also amazing. There's everything in Greece. Mountains, rivers, the sea is everywhere. You look left and right and you see only sea. Forests and snow and nature, everything is so beautiful in not a very big area at the end of the day. I mean, Greece is much bigger than Israel. It's 8 times more bigger in size than Israel, but nevertheless it's not huge. So you can really enjoy the beauty and see everything. And I've, of course, have to mention the archaeology and the culture, the unique culture of this place. The special language that is so much connected to the culture. If you don't understand the language, you will never understand the history and the culture of this country.
Do you understand the language?
The very little that I learned at the beginning when I arrived, there's so much in the language that teaches you first and foremost about other languages, and also about the roots of other languages and the roots of culture and civilization through the language. There are so many words in our language that are exactly the same words as you use them in Greek. And I'm not only talking about very conventional words like philosophy, mathematics, and of course it is originated from the Greek language, but words that we use in Hebrew that are exactly the same. We pronounce them even the same. So this just shows the historical relationship between the people in the land of Israel and the people here in Greece.
After so many years as ambassador, what do you still find difficult to understand about the country?
I don't think. I think that
No.
I find it in a way, and this is the similarities that I can find between Israel and Greece. First and foremost, the way that we relate to each other, very informal, right? When you saw it probably when you were in Israel, that after 2 minutes, people are your best friends.
Exactly.
And there are no these very protocol type of barriers. So
personally, I had the best time in Tel Aviv, in Haifa, and in Jerusalem, and I love your country. It is amazing. And the people, of course.
It's a very unique place.
It is.
It's a very unique place.
During your time as ambassador, relations between Greece and Israel have been excellent. In what areas do you think the greatest progress has been made?
Actually, in all areas, I think that we have made a lot of progress and major developments in our bilateral relations, but the most, I think, is on the political level.
That's very interesting and very
yes,
important.
It's very important that we have very good political dialogue with the Greek, between our two heads of state, 2 prime ministers actually, the 2 presidents as well, and between our political leaderships as well. So I think that if we speak about the most progress that we have made in the last 7 or 8 years, I think it's there on the political level. But we have made a lot of progress also in our people-to-people relationship, and this is very important. Very important. And it starts with tourism.
How many Israeli tourists visit Greece in the summer?
We can talk about all year round, because Israelis come to Greece all year round. They don't come only in the summer. Of course, in the summer there's a peak in the number of tourists that come here. But if you walk downtown Athens these days, especially over the weekends, you will hear a lot of Hebrew being spoken.
Yes. I didn't know that.
Yes. And also our tourism period is very extended. We start in April and we end somewhere at the end of October. So it's not really only the summer. The high peak for us of tourism is half a year, but we have tourism all along.
How many tourists visit Greece?
400,000.
400?
Yes.
Thousand.
Yeah,
Wow.
and the numbers will probably grow because there are so many articles published every day almost in Israel on Greece. Just the other day I saw a nice article of how to enjoy Thessaloniki in the winter. Okay, very nice article.
This article was in Tel Aviv?
In the Israeli media, actually,
okay.
in one of our major websites.
Do you have any idea where do Israeli tourists prefer to go?
First and foremost, they like to go everywhere. Israelis are adventurous and they are looking, because we are an island in the Middle East, so people feel that they have to leave the country very often in order to breathe a little bit of fresh air. So they travel extensively. Here in Greece, Athens has become very popular.
Of
People
course.
like coming to Athens, and it reminds them a lot of what they know back home. Athens to me looks like Tel Aviv that I remember when I was younger. Thessaloniki, very attractive for Israelis because of its Jewish background, but
yes, of
not
course.
only because of that. And then there are two areas that you will see plenty of Israelis. One is Zagor Horea, and the other one is Pelion. Yes.
What are the numbers of Greek tourists visiting Israel? Do you have an idea?
The numbers
because we really love your country.
And what we see lately is that more and more Greeks are visiting Israel that we didn't see in the last couple of years, because the major group that came from Greece and still comes from Greece to Israel are pilgrims that come to the Holy Land. But more and more we see people that are not pilgrims, that go to Tel Aviv maybe over the weekend just to enjoy. I heard from people here in Greece that they think that Tel Aviv today is the New York of the Middle East. Tel Aviv has a very good image and good branding of a very dynamic, very interesting place to go.
Innovation, education and startup. What can Greece learn and adapt from the startup nation, and how do you and the embassy help with this?
This is one of the issues that we are very happily collaborating with Greeks. We have a program of mentorship that Israeli mentors come and mentor young entrepreneurs here in Greece. There's a bilateral agreement between Greece and Israel on mutual industrial research and development that both governments support. And we see a lot of companies, Israeli and Greek companies, collaborating under this framework as well. Delegations of startups that we send to Israel. We have a startup competition here in Greece that we conduct every summer, and then the winners get to go to Israel. So there are a lot of activities that we do with the innovation ecosystem of Greece, which is growing, and we would like to share our experiences, how we did this in Israel 30 years ago, and I'm sure that Greece will make this very big leap forward in the coming months. So
hopefully.
But it's a very interesting group of people that we like to work with, and they're very excited, very ambitious, and great ideas innovate here in Greece, especially in tourism, by the way. And this is another sector that is of great interest to us. you have 30 million tourists coming to Greece yearly. We only have 3.5. So you have a lot of experience in tourism, and technologies that are developed in Israel with Greek entrepreneurs can really benefit the Greek market, which
so
is extensive and huge.
We can share our ideas and our experience. Would you like to comment on events following President Trump's transfer of the Embassy of Jerusalem?
Since you've been in Jerusalem, you saw the history of this city, and it goes back thousands of years ago. Jerusalem was always the capital of the Jews in the land of Israel since ancient history. 3,000 years ago, King Solomon, King David, the temples. We always, when we were in exile for 2,000 years, we were always praying to return to Jerusalem, because Jerusalem was a very important site in our history. And it's a religious center, it's the political center, has always been. So in a way, what President Trump did, he just emphasized what was there in reality. Nothing has changed on the ground. He didn't say that he's moving the embassy to Jerusalem. No other country said that so far that they are moving their embassies to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the capital of the State of Israel. We announced it when the State of Israel was established, that this is our capital. It was always our capital, and we are just rebuilding our capital as it was always in history. The seat of the parliament is there, the seat of the president, the prime minister, all the government's officers are there. All the dignitaries that visit Israel visit Jerusalem. So in a way, this is just reinforcing the reality on the ground. This is what President Trump did. I hope that the situation in the Middle East will not escalate further to what has happened in the last few days, and that it will only be, in a way, a way to go back to the negotiating table with the Palestinians. Now that there is a recognition of Jerusalem being our capital, which was a stumbling block, one of the major issues, a stumbling block to go back to the negotiation table. We are all waiting for President Trump's peace plan. Our Prime Minister said it yesterday that we hope that we will be presented with these new ideas that President Trump has, both us and the Palestinians, and we really hope that this will be an opportunity to go back to the negotiation table and to finally resolve the conflict between us and the Palestinians. This is our wish. This is definitely our wish. We don't want to continue living in the situation that we live now.
But is the idea of a two-state solution still popular in Israel, or have Israelis settled for the idea that things will remain as they are at present?
Still, the two-state solution is the preferable solution by majority of Israelis. Definitely, for sure.
Are you alarmed by the rise of anti-Semitism in Europe, and to what extent do you think this is a problem in Greece, if it is?
Anti-Semitism has been, unfortunately, a very strong phenomena that we see not only in Europe, by the way, it's growing in other parts of the world as well. We are concerned with this, and governments should address all these anti-Semitic sentiments that develop in their own societies. There are anti-Semitic elements here in Greece. They are mostly in the social media, mostly there. But the very fact that whenever there are anti-Semitic incidents, immediately you see a very strong reaction coming out from the political leadership, from the parties themselves, from the parliament as well. I think this helps to understand that this is not the right thing to do in any country in the world, not only in Greece.
Of course.
But the way to tackle these anti-Semitic incidents is through education. This is also something that we are trying to do here in Greece, and to introduce another face of Israel and another face of the Jewish world. We have to open up ourselves and just to introduce who we are in such a way that people will understand that all these stigmas and myths that they had of the past of what Jews are and what Israelis are is incorrect.
How do you like to spend your time outside work when you're in Athens? Something very personal.
Yeah, okay. I like spending my free time
Downtown Athens?
Downtown Athens, definitely. Going to museums, to galleries, listen to Greek music. I love Greek music.
Really?
Yes. And to do a little bit also of walking in nature and enjoying nature myself.
Thank you so much for this interview.
You're welcome.
Honored Ambassador, thank you very much.
You're welcome.